We Iranians have an expression that says, a liar should have a good memory. Trump has lost his memory because of all the lies he constantly tells. Regarding the nuclear issue, the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council also announced that we might withdraw from the NPT, and they know what withdrawing implies. This is why Trump issued that Cold War statement, to say that he no longer has a military solution, and this is the biggest defeat for America.
Is Trump's so-called economic D-Day threat actually a sign that Washington has abandoned its military options against Iran? Has America failed to defeat Iran? As a former IRGC commander openly mocks Trump's campaign and claims Tehran still controls Hormuz? Has Trump been forced into a new Cold War with Iran, after Tehran claims US military pressure failed to deliver its objectives? Trump has lost his memory, an Iranian former general says, accusing the US president of making repeated false claims about the conflict. Has Trump's biggest claim been exposed, as Tehran asks why Washington still cannot take control of the Strait of Hormuz?
The statement had three important indicators. First, a declaration of military failure of U.S. strategists of confronting Iran and reopening the Strait of Hormuz, which practically means that we can no longer do anything, so we are moving to the next solution, which is a blockade. Second, this is a declaration of initiating a Cold War, just as in the case of the Soviet Union. Based on the Truman Doctrine, the U.S. entered a Cold War with the Soviet Union and established NATO, which subsequently led to the collapse of the Soviet Union, which the Americans consider a successful plan. We Iranians have an expression that says, a liar should have a good memory. Trump has lost his memory because of all the lies he constantly tells. Well, if all these events had happened, why can't he take control of the Strait of Hormuz, while Iran currently holds control? If these things happened, then why can't this great U.S. Army achieve a military victory? And now, as the saying goes, they have all gone to hide in other countries' bases because their own bases were hit? This shows that these are just bluffs and nothing more than psychological warfare. Iran has long been preparing for a conflict of this nature. Indeed, preparations began roughly 30 years ago, as I recall. Many of the missile cities we have constructed remain completely untouched and unsealed to this day. Our missile production industry is strategically dispersed across the entire country. It is not the case that striking 10 targets could halt our production lines, as our capabilities are far more extensive than that. Moreover, because all our equipment and facilities are domestically produced, they can be repaired quickly and efficiently. As far as I know, regarding military matters, we have 3 bases for equipment and ammunition for confrontation. One is the operational base. One is a reserve ammunition base, which we never touch. The other is a support ammunition base, and one is the operational resistance base. Well, we have implemented the operational part. We have not yet opened the warehouses of logistic support besides the reserve parts. Our foreign exchange reserves are very high. For nearly 20 years, we have been reserving 30% of our oil sales in the form of currency and gold in the Foreign Exchange Reserve Fund. This was a strategy of our martyred mom. Even if we do not export a single drop of oil for 10 years, we will have no problem. We can both meet our domestic needs and continue our petrochemical production and exports. Regarding the nuclear issue, the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, Mohsen, also announced that we might withdraw from the NPT, and they know what withdrawing implies. This is why Trump issued that Cold War statement, to say that he no longer has a military solution, and this is the biggest defeat for America. His army said, I will move aircraft carriers and the country will collapse. But now he has moved his carriers and entered operations. But nothing has happened, and he himself is in a state of collapse.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.